World of Warcraft, the most well-known MMORPG in the history of gaming that went through so many changes over the decades, with some exceptional expansions and some not praiseworthy ones, scandals that shook the company. The War Within is seen as a savior by the player base, but will the game survive, or will we succeed in our plan to cure the players' obsession and destroy their beloved MMO forever? Hello everyone, this is Goddess Sylvanas and Sylvanas, and in this video I'm going to present all the frustrations that I have accumulated over time with this MMO and this nerdy hoe right here who is addicted to this MMO more than any other that I had to burn in our previous videos. If my plan succeeds in burning this last MMO, I will cure her gaming illness and I will break the wheel once and for all, as I was meant to do. World of Warcraft was indeed our first MMO, so it is the closest to my heart, but I was able to move on, unlike Sylvanas, and do what I must. We were children when we started to play this game. Back then, I had a sexy blood elf that was going to take over the world. But the problem was that being so young, we lacked the capacity to understand that this game had multiple servers. While I wanted to meet with Sylvanas, who had an alliance character and swam all the way to Dorotar, we were unable to meet. Then I quit the game, but with all the COVID shit, I returned in 2022 and I was shocked to see that Sylvanas had max level characters with mounts and gear. She gave me a heart attack and I had to take revenge and eventually, with the help of several sims, catch up to her through level boosts and other items. If you want to know how I succeeded, then watch our first WoW video, How to Level Fast as an e-girl. When I returned, everyone was annoyed by the Shadowlands expansion. Why, you may wonder? Well, I don't know. A lot of people were annoyed that a female character, my favorite character, my inspiration, Sylvanas Windrunner, was overpowered according to all those neckbeards. Of course, some people complained about game mechanics regarding gearing and other systems, but I know nothing of those because unlike you, I have a life. You are all puppets that I will use in my final plan, a plan which draws near. I am honored that after conquering Sutor, DCUO and ESO, the one and only, Sylvanas Windrunner is here to join our cause and serve us.
Goddess Demoness, voices ring out across the realms as you and Sylvanas blaze a trail of celebration over the miles. Here's to eons of success ahead, creative visionary that you are. I have no doubt that many will flock to view your work for years to come. Glasses raised high, Goddess. Dark Lady, watch over you.
Thank you, Lady Windrunner. Now kneel before me, as all must. Also, back then I discovered my favorite YouTuber, Lady Survival, who was an obsessed Sylvanas fan.
Dude, you're fucked. Oh my god, that's so much better. Oh my god.
I fucking adored it. I loved her style and how her true freedom of speech was well represented for those of us who like Sylvanas. Even though, indeed, they fucked up her story by the end because of a supposed internal struggle.
My loyalty to Sylvanas has never wavered. She knows what must be done, and I will stand proudly with my Dark Queen alongside Goddess Demoness and Sylvanas to destroy the cycle.
The lead writer was mad his favorite character, Garrosh, was turned into a villain by the writer of Sylvanas' story, so in turn he turned her into a villain with no other plan, which ultimately led to contradictions and the story of Shadowlands in an attempt to save her character. But for some reason, everyone loved Wrath of the Lich King, where there is literally an overpowered evil man. But because the general consensus is that the expansion is amazing, everyone has to agree. But I wonder, who are the losers who are creating this general opinion? The Redditors, maybe a tiny bit, but the main influence is the one that represented a danger to all the MMOs I had to burn. The content creators. The main issue is, of course, the wannabe Jesus of this community, Asmongold, who was recently crucified on Twitch and then he was resurrected after 2 weeks because of some serious shit he spat out without thinking, like he does in every stream. Not today, Jon Snow. While I appreciate that he had indeed quite a lot of criticism for WoW, which Blizzard took into consideration, he also created an influence bubble in which his followers consist of people with a melting brain and 3 words in their vocabulary, like Pog, W, and Keck, while at the same time being obsessed with Pepe Frog. Like Neanderthals, they can only express themselves through pictures. These chimpanzees follow every opinion Asmongold puts out while eating junk and chugging sodas. Even though he has a difficulty in managing his eyebrow movements, he is still alive. Another obsession of these players is them wanting everything to be like when they were young, wanting everything to be extra classy. Then why the fuck do you buy expensive computers that have thousands of colors? Buy a box monitor and use floppy disks. You were complaining about the graphics being Disney-like. Well, don't worry. Your hair won't grow back and your pubes won't fall, while WoW will keep being Disney. Well, Mr. Asmongold, there is only one instance in which I accept people being mindless thralls, and that instance is called a dictatorship, in which I am the leader. So, as future conqueror of World of Warcraft, I sentence you to an eternity under the shower, with never-ending soap pouring onto your skin. And worst of all, I curse you to become a vegan. No more McDonald's and Wendy's. The next one on the list is Nixium, who at first seemed like a potential ally for us, as he messaged me in 2020, praising our editing style and obvious talent. But his promises were in vain, as he started to become a trend chaser, trying to reach 500,000 subscribers. Well, bringing stupid arguments such as World of Warcraft or Sutor having gone liberal, or all your political shit doesn't make sense, and you trying to be a macho, asking for testosterone for stupid orc outfits makes me sick and makes me question your sexuality. Not that it would be a problem, but I have an issue seeing toxic masculinity around this gaming world that I am so sick of. I will also mention one thing that frustrated me. Your Discord server apparently banned me even though we are friends. How could that happen? Were you not able to control your moderators, Nixium? I am disappointed. For me, the fact that you message us will always be a pivotal moment in our growth, the desire for evolution. But the humor of your machinimas, even though they are amazingly edited, makes me want to throw up. So, I accuse you publicly of being guilty of spreading toxic masculinity, and I sentence you to having a shaved beard and to be thrown into a pit of femboys and vulperas, because guess what? I have some mercy, and I think that you would actually enjoy that. Now, the 2 others that are actually influential that make me bored are Noble and Bellular, but they make me so annoyed when I see how invested they are in this fucking game, in this fucking story, and when I see someone nerdier than Cinera. The only thing I can do is sentence them to eternal life without a computer. The rest of the content creators are all the same. All their streams are just a bunch of monkeys jumping around, saying the same things. So I sentence all of them to relive the Shadowlands expansion. Now, coming back to the actual game, if you managed to survive so far into this video, I can't complain that much because the changes that happened over the years are quite good. I think that all these changes should have happened earlier. For example, being able to create a Dark Ranger having that amazing Sylvanas armor set. Thank you, Blizzard, for that. Starting to add sexy outfits, having beautiful landscapes with a mesmerizing atmosphere that sadly is making Cinera addicted to this game. What I don't like is having to pay for a subscription. Why would I have to pay monthly for a game in 2025? Make it free. You already have the cash shop and you can make money from that. Unlike all these losers whose ego is boosted by achieving stuff in-game. For example, if you want to pay for something more interesting, you can support us on Patreon where you will get monthly digital and physical rewards. Or you can use our Boosteroid link to spend countless of hours in other games. One of the things that brought me back to the game this year is the Mists of Pandaria remix, which was quite fun, I hate to admit, because you had the possibility to buy a lot of the rare drops. But the main issue here is why the fuck did you choose Mist of Pandaria? You could have chosen Wrath of the Lich King or Legion. I fucking hate those pandas in that fucking island. The only Asian aesthetic I like is the shit that I buy from Shein and Temu, and it's the only thing I will accept. Another passion of these no-lifers is getting in-game achievements. I understand being excited for an achievement if it gives you a mount, a pet, or makes you the President of the United States. But all of you get so excited and so obsessed with inspecting others' achievements as if that shit would really matter. So, for all of you that are in this category alongside the toxic PvPers and the Mythic Plus addicts, I sentence you to burn alive! Ugh, why are you scared, sister? Are you secretly one of them? I hope not. I think we discussed this before. You have to learn to be an empress. You deserve that. And you will prove it to me once again. We both like the trading post system, but I'm appalled by these people who already have the monthly reward as soon as the month changes. How the hell? Also, every month there are updates that make me go crazy because the skills keep resetting and I have to randomly choose other skills so that the game won't bother me about it. This game is a prison, and I shall set you all free, just as I will set Sinera free. But there is one thing that is holding me back, which is the story being quite good and the story of some players that were part of this community. This game has the potential to make an emotional impact through an animated show such as Arcane, which will bring in new players while also making people more interested in the story. That movie they attempted to make did not impress me, but WoW has some of the best cinematics both in-game and CGI, and I cannot ignore the last emotional impact that this game was able to offer in that Netflix documentary, The Remarkable Life of Ibelin. This documentary was a masterpiece because it reminded me why all these games in some situations can represent freedom of movement, identity, and even artistic expression for some that cannot experience that in real life. I could never take this away from anyone. I myself have made connections in these MMOs that I never thought were possible, meeting with people in real life, being able to talk to people from all around the world, and be united in a fantasy world where the only thing that matters is your personality. If you also want to share your story, feel free to join our Discord server using the link down below. I love to see that a game is able to inspire people, and I think more stories should be shared. For instance, I spoke to someone whose friend has passed away. Because he was such a big fan of the game, his family made it so that his passion is honored even after his passing. There are so many stories that need to be told, but I have to set Sinera free of her obsession, and I've had the vision. I have to burn it to the ground in order to break the wheel.
Goddess Demoness. I really thought that we had put this behind us. SI7 had assured me that you had agreed to cooperate and cease these baseless threats. The walls of Stormwind have stood tall and proud for generations, and will continue to stand in spite of whatever small threats you continue to make. I sincerely hope that this will be the last I hear of this matter, or there very well may be a cell in the stockades with your name written on it.
Ugh, Anduin Wrynn, the last king of the Alliance. Last time I've seen you, you were on your knees serving. You cannot stop me from what is to be done.
Consider your next actions very carefully, Goddess.
Well, I will consider my actions very carefully when I will carefully burn this entire city. Fire runs through my veins, and you know what? I would have stopped this attack, but there is one thing that made me want to have my final revenge. It was this comment on one of our videos. Well, Nuni Bidness 82181. You think that I'm the problem and I will never burn, WoW? Well, it's time to prove you wrong.
Burn Stormwind? Have you seen this city? It's made of stone, and you may call yourself a goddess, but you are certainly no dragon.
No dragon, huh?
The light shall burn you! For the Alliance!
No! Sinera! Sister, come back to me! It is not meant to end this way. We are breaking the cycle, you and I. Come on, Sinera! No! Her brain got fried. The holy light affected her. It's all my fault.